Alright, I'm going to bring you another fishing video. A 5-gallon bucket, line, limb line, whatever you want to use. Your trot lines, all of it, you can put in here, not get them tangled up. What I did was first, I took a 5/16 inch drill bit. I drilled holes around here. You see these tabs? There's 12 of them all the way around it. And I fit somewhere between 5 and 6 holes in between each of them. So there's between 60 and 65. So you can put possibly 60 to 65 limb lines in here. I I don't hardly fish with more than probably 40, but you can do whatever you want. This 5-gallon bucket, you can get, just say 60 of these in here, and you do a lot of fishing, like you're going to be gone for a week and you're wanting to catch a whole lot or whatever, this is a good way. I'm sure commercial fishermen have a better system and all, but this is what I'm doing. I saw it on God's Country Hunting and Fishing, I think is the name of the channel. I may have, it may be God's Country Fishing and Hunting, but a guy down in Louisiana, I saw it, I liked it. I've always put mine on boards like this, and as you can tell, the weights and the hooks get caught up in your lines, and that thing right there gets heavy. That thing right there, it probably weighs 10 pounds. I did a video on a little V-bore chainsaw. I got it right here. This little chainsaw weighs less than this. You got to think all these weights on here is either 3 or 6 ounces. I can't remember what I put on there, but they're heavy. And you take 20 of those and put on there, and you got a lot of weight, plus the wood and all that. And I saw this, and I was like, well, it'll work good. What he done? Well, how I do it, you've seen me make lines on here before. I just take and tie a knot and all, which I'll do one right quick to show you everything I do. Get your knife out. Always take, and I just tie, I call it like an overhand knot, like you tie a balloon or anything like that. And when you do it, always want somewhere between 3 and 6 inches, probably right there. I can fit those 4 fingers in there. I don't worry about a tag line, nothing like that. Fish can pull all they want. They're not going to pull it. This is small line where I make up and fish the most. I'm not going to catch nothing over 20 pounds hardly. I may catch a 40 or 60 pound fish, but that's very rare. Most everything I'm fishing for is somewhere between 1 pound and 10 pounds. I'll catch some 20s every now and then, but that's not much. Then you pull off. After I make my knot, I'm going to come down here and, well, I'm going to go ahead and tie my lead stopping knot. I always tie 2 on here because my line is so small. They got to be on top of each other. That didn't go just right. Sometimes you got to tie 3. But as you can tell, if you can see it, let me get my knife out my lap. As you can see, that knot is big enough so that it won't slide through the eye of it. Pull you off about 2 foot of line after you have all that done. And then take your weight here. It's a big chunk of weight. You thread it on, put it on there, and then you always tie another set of knots because I don't want it sliding up my line either. Because when you put it down in there or however you store yours, it's not going to always hang just like this. I put my hooks down here and do like that. And then I take again and tie me another knot up here, and you're good on that. Very, very important. I use these light lines for a couple of reasons. This little black line, can't nobody really see it. I don't really care if people can see it or not, but it'll hold in the water and it reduces the visibility if you got a place where people poach your fishing and all. So that little bit of line, can't see it. But I take a swivel then, and what I do, get up here close, you just put it through there, pull it like that, split your string, and pull it back through. And I leave it just like that. What this does is when you got it tied on to a limb, the fish can sit here and do like this and not mess your line up. He won't unspin it because this line is just spun together. It's not braided or anything like this. This is I think this is 18 nylon string, but you do that. All right, I'm gonna put it to the side for right now and lay it over here. You're gonna go back to your roll of string again, and you're gonna tie you another knot. And then you pull off however long you need. Remember, this here is about 2 foot, maybe 18 inches, 24 inches, something like that. It don't really matter. And what I do is I put my hook on the other end down here. But after I do that, I like mine, I just take my arm, however far I can reach right here, and I cut it off. Sorry if that made noise. Got a string hung on the microphone. Then I do the same thing again. I take it, tie me another loop on it. If I can get it go through right. I have fished with these. I fished with this lines done like this for years. And then you take it, and again, you just feed it through there. And if you do it before you put a hook on, you can just pull your weight through, or you can pull the other way with your line that's tied to a limb. If you want to stop there after you put a hook on, you can. And you can take this in. The reason why I tie it like this is it's so easy to slide your hand down and hit the knot. You wrap it. What I do is, imagine this is your limb. I wrap my line around, and then I just take my line. If you can see how I do, you take it, pull it around, pull it through like this, and pull it up, and you got that loop. And then I pull this through again, and all this is I don't know what no knot names are or anything like that, but a fish is not going to pull that off. You can pull it off all you want. I used to show cows when I was young, and this is the same thing that cowboys and stuff tie their horses up with. We tied our cows up with, all that, and we left it like that. Now we have big ropes, just because it was easy on the hand, not that it needed it for the cow or whatever. But at night, for safety reasons, make sure a cow didn't pull it and untie themselves, we'd stick it back through that last loop, and if they pulled on it, it would just cinch down on the rope. It's the same knot as like on feed sacks and all. But the beauty of it is, now you got this loop. Whenever you get ready to take your line up, it's this simple. You pull it, it comes untied, you grab your other end, it comes off. That's a great way to do it. I've done it that way for years and years and years. Now, I don't know if I'm lazy or what, but I like to do one of two things you can do. My favorite is take one of these little bitty swivels and snaps and all right here. These things are strong. It's little. I'm not gonna lie. When I look at them, I'm like, man, that thing ain't gonna hold nothing. But they'll hold. This is real good for limb lines or jug fishing. I do my jugs this same way as I do these little poles I stick in the ground. I just tie a string on the end of my jug. Then I can take this limb line, hook it on, and hook it back like that where the fish can pull. He can swivel around on it and all that. But and I guess the main reason why I do it is I can take my limb lines and put them on those poles, stick them in the banks or whatever. Or you can do the same thing right here. Imagine this is a limb again. You take it, you run it around just like you would do anything else and just hook it back to the line. Now, most of the time you're not going to have a little bitty limb like this. This pole here is like a 1/4 inch, 5/16. Yeah, it's 5/16 or 3/8 something. It ain't 3/8, but we're gonna say it's 5/16. Most of the time your limbs are bigger than that. Even if they're not, your limbs are gonna give. I've done it this way this year, and I've caught probably 10, 15 pound fish on it, and I have not messed up one of these. They haven't come undone or anything like that. If you got a great big limb, imagine it big like this. Well, when it pulls on it, it's not gonna have it in a bind or anything, you know. And you take this and you put it on a small limb. I put them on limbs about this big. Well, you put it behind a Y like this. Well, it can't slide off. Then that limb's pulling like this. I've had little limbs like this. They'll pull them 5 foot. They'll be slapping the water and all. But you do that, and it's easy. When you get ready to get it, you go up there, unsnap it just that fast, and you're good. Now, back to the bucket, since we made that line. The good part about it is I just grab it in my hand like that, make me a little ball of twine right here. Just fold it back and forth. Nothing spectacular. It don't matter if it looks a little messy or anything like that. And do it like that. Take you some tape, wrap it around. About twice is plenty. Pull your tag side off now. You do like that, and you're good to go. Let me put a hook on here. When you put your hook on, you always put it from the hook side through first. And this is what I do. You stick it through here, just like that. And then I slide it over my hook here. And I leave the string on the hook, just like that. And what that does is when the fish hits it, it pulls it down and helps sets it good. If you got it the other way, you can miss fish. But since we got the hook on there, that's one limb line, jug line, bank pole line, whatever, done. You take it, this is a 6/0. It'll fit right down in there beside the other one. You're good to go. I mean, I'm trying them long in here. Now, they may tangle up. I don't know. I may be messing up with that. I might need to tape them up closer to the hooks. I may have to skip I can only put 30 in here because them this close may be too close. If you use bigger line, it'll probably fold up better. Don't know. And they sell these poles. These are short. These are 4-footers. These are driveway markers. They come with reflective tape on them. They're orange. You can see these things, I don't know, 100 foot or more down the river. You might see them 100 yards. I don't know. At night, you can see them real good because they'll reflect. They talk about drilling holes through here, putting stainless steel cables and all that kind of stuff. You see what I did? I took a piece of string and that same knot I've been tying, I did the same exact thing. This one actually I tied the whole line on, and I used to twist it up on there, and that was generation 1, and the hook and all got in the way. I did it like this, and I'm out here tonight going through mine, taking all this off. I did just like this, and can you see the problem here? Hooks flopping around, get tangled up and everything. I'm doing away with it. Well, generation 2, I come on and I hung trot line clips on it, and that worked good. I didn't have no swivels, snap swivels on there, so I could take this and just hook the string on there through that loop I showed you I tied, and they work fine. Well, I got these short ones here. Yes, I will jam them in the bank if it's somewhere where I can, but I don't really like to. These are for drilling in logs or trees or something like that in the small rivers in the backwaters or in little lakes or whatever, you know. And you got it on there and they flex. You drill them out of 45 in the tree and that thing will bend over. I've only broke one of these, and I run over it with a boat. I had it stuck up like that, and I wasn't paying attention. Current caught me. My hilt didn't catch the boat in time, and I hit it dead on, and broke it. Not a big deal. I bought these things a few years ago. They was 50 cents a piece. I bought 100 of them. If I may have to buy some sometime or another, but I'm gonna say that'll last me the rest of my life. Well, what I'm doing now, since I'm going through all my lines, putting them in this bucket, and I'm going to put them snap swivels on there, I'm fixing to take all these clips back off. And the reason why is there's no reason to have 2 clips on your pole. So I take that off, save it, I'll put it on something else. Now, all you got to do is take your string out. This one, the snap swivel is loose. Take it up here, hook it on again. It's that simple, and you're good to go. You're fishing. I think these snap swivels are like 50 or 100-pound test rating, and like this, you got 2 swivels on there. I got a swivel down low above my weight, and then I got a swivel here. If I wouldn't tie these on the limbs, if I was just tying them straight on to sticks, I wouldn't put 2 swivels on there. One would suffice, the one down there, you know, near the lead. And to me, you want your swivel within about 2 foot of your fish, and it'll help keep the spin down. But you can do that. And what I was going to say is these poles, I see people selling them on Facebook. There's a company selling them. They got like 3/8 or something like that, and 1/2 inch and 11/16, and they're 10, 15 feet long. Guess what? You can make them for a fraction of the cost. Go to Lowe's and or whatever box store you have, hardware store. They make these 10-foot, 3/8 inch rebar is what it's called. These things are like $5 a piece. They're perfectly fine. They will flex. You're not going to break them. You can drive these things in the bank, drive them in 2 foot. You got, as you can tell, you drive them here. This is about 2 foot from the end. Drive them 2 foot in the bank. You got them out there. Now I will say, when you drive them, you want an angle on them, and you may need to drive them 2-3 foot. If you think you need to drive them more than that, they make 20-foot sticks. If I was getting a 20-foot stick, I would probably get a half inch. The 3/8 will probably be fine, but if you get a big fish, he's just gonna pull it. Do I think he'll break it? I don't know. He might, but if I got a 20-foot stick, that's a lot of leverage out there. But say you needed 15 or 16, whatever, you could get a 20-foot, cut it in half. You could take any kind of saw, cut it. And again, I'll show you on this stick while we're here doing, because I ain't made these up. I just bought them. But you take it. Look at that. I cut about a 2-foot piece of string there. It don't matter how long they are. You take, do the same knot. Do it just like that. Tie it on. Then what I do is I do the same thing. I put my knot up here where the string is, and I got to remember what I'm doing. But anyways, you do that, and you put your loop end back through it, and you cinch it down with your knot up here. I give myself a few inches, because you may want to take a rubber mallet and drive it in. Don't hit this with a steel hammer. Well, if you pull on this with that knot right there, why am I going to drill a hole through it? Look, I'm pulling. I mean, it ain't going to hardly come off like it is. Like, the harder I pull, this thing's got little ribs on it. It's not going nowhere. But just as a safety precaution, you take you some electrical tape, run it how your line is. Like this, if I run it around this way, is wrapping it around. The other way would make the knot loose. So I can do that if I want. Run that around, take your electrical tape, do it like that, run it a couple times behind it, run it a couple times in front of it, get your little tag strings down there. Heck, electrical tape's cheap. Run it several times, run it back behind it a couple times. It's not going to come off. I've been using these. Your rod is going to break before that does. Don't spend the extra money on a stainless steel cable, drilling a hole through it, or anything like that. Just use that string. Now, if you're somewhere where you got 100-pound fish or something, it may come off. I don't know. But you can do that. And again, you got your string, clip your hook on there, you're fishing. You can make these strings all the different lengths you need. You make them 2 foot, you make them 10 foot, 20 foot, whatever you want. Me, I like to fish 2 to 3 foot off the bottom, probably. You can take and clip these on, and you can push it down. And when your weight hits the bottom, you let it come up. And if that's 2 or 3 foot, you're doing good. In my opinion, you don't want to fish in the top 2 foot of the water column unless it's just a good place. You got good fast current, because you are going to snag more gars and grinnells, turtles, stuff like that. They're going to feed in the top 2 to 3 foot that I found where I fish at. So I try to fish 5 to 15 feet. I make my lines 5 to 8 feet. I got about a 6-inch to 1 foot leader. This pole will droop a little. You can stick this pole under the water. You can stick it above the water, whatever. And the other thing, whenever you get this pole from Lowe's, go over there and get you some reflective tape that people put on trailers, and don't just wrap it around it like this stick here. Take it and pull you off a 6-inch or a foot long piece, whatever. And whenever you wrap it around it, put it around it like this and let it dangle like that. And you'll be able to see it better, because that's a whole lot more than running it down this. Like, you can see it. And plus, your tape is going to be like 2 inches wide, you know. Get you some 2-inch reflective tape. I like white. I don't care for red, because red makes me think of gator eyes and stuff. White, I don't know, I can just see it better. You can put it on there if a lot of people's fishing in your area and everybody's using red, or there's a lot that's using white and they're just using white or red. Put you a thing of white on, then come back here and put a thing of red on. If people start doing that, you know, have all yours with white on the end and then red. Or you could put white, red, white. You know, make all yours uniform, so when you're driving, you can notice your sticks and go get them, you know, if you're doing it at night. And that's what we do down here. We'll put these poles out, and I got one place I just fish during the day. I'll get over there at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, put lines out, fish them all day long. I ain't gonna say I'll fill this 52 quart cooler up. If I had 50 lines out, yeah, I could easy, you know. But we're catching small whole fryers, you know. But it's just fun. We just run up and down. You get all your lines put out. Take you a couple hours to get your lines put out if you put a bunch out, and you just run them back and forth. It takes you an hour, hour and a half. I just go all the way up the river checking on my lines. When I get done doing that, I go all the way down and start over. And it liable to be 3 or 4 miles of river, you know, small river. And I just run back up and check them all again. And if they're hitting, you stop, check it, go on. If you notice a line isn't being hit, stop in, check, make sure it's got bait and all, you know. But I hope this will help you, save you a little money. A rebar pole, about $5. You got weight. I think it's $25 for 50, 60 weights, something like that. You do the math on that. You got these hooks. Hooks are fairly expensive. They're about 50 cents a piece, I think, now. I don't know what these swivels are. They may be 25, 50 cents. And the same thing with the snap swivels. So I'm going to say $7, $8. You can make these 10-foot poles right here. If you won't leave them out in the sun, you'll go use these for the weekend, put them out on Friday, pick them up Sunday, Saturday evening, whatever, you know, or 4 or 5 days. You do that 20 times a year. Bring them home, put them in the shop. You can take these, go buy you a piece of sewage pipe, 4-inch sewage pipe. I don't know how many you can put in there, but I bet you could put 20 of them in there. Tie it up in the top of your shop, you know, strap it up there, slide all of them in where the sun isn't on them. Put your cap on the end of it if it's an open shed so the sun don't hit them, and you're good to go. You know, they'll be good. Same way with your bucket. This bucket is good. Don't leave your lines and all out. I don't recommend leaving, and that's why I said just a few days. Most people can only fish on the weekend. If you're fishing all week, that's fine. You know, you're going to pick it up in 7 days, go back next month, fish for 7 days. But these hooks, they don't need to be left out in the rain and all. And that's the other reason why I like this plastic. I know they're going to be dry. Take these, put them in your shop, back bedroom, carport, whatever. Keep everything out the sunlight. Because if this string's in the sunlight, it's going to deteriorate. This fiberglass is going to delaminate. You're going to have problems. As you can tell, I haven't left all of mine in the shop and all. Most of mine's faded. I'll leave them out all summer long. a lot of times are in the spring because I fish from March. I've been fishing March to May, and that's a lot of sun. I just leave my boat parked out, and I go every weekend or couple weekends, something like that. But do little things like that, it'll help you save you money and all that. So $7 here, people online selling them for 15 bucks. Even if it's $10, that's saving you $3 on it. So every two of these, you get one free, theoretically. You know, something like that. And it's easy. It's fun. You built it. You know how to remake it if something messes up. But I'm gonna wrap it up on this video. I'll come back, let you know. Oh yeah, on the bucket, if it rains on you, it'll fill full of water. If you go out and fish a lot and it rains on you, you may want to drill you 4 or 5 holes in the bottom. Just use that 5/16 bit and drill in the bottom. You're good to go. You could even wrap up trot lines like on that wood thing I had and throw them in the bottom of there if you needed to, and it'll be out your way. And this could be your whole trot line system. You wrap it up on a little piece of wood, wrap it around, round, 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 and have it in the bottom. Well, you take it off. You use these clips for a trot line. Why you use them is you use a bigger string, you tie them on there, and they're not going to hardly slide up and down. If they do, you can always go tie your little knots on there or pinch some. They got some little clip things you can pinch on, like plastic or whatever, and they'll hold. It don't take a lot to keep them from sliding. But maybe this will help you. And if so, you like the content, like, share, subscribe. I know the video is long. Sorry about that. But we'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a good one.